We're going to start off with some good news about Mr. Joe Biden here because he finally got some congratulations from his good old boys over there in China. Because earlier today, after days of silence, China on Friday congratulated Joseph R. Biden on his election as president of the United States. Oh, we're just dropping the pretense that he's a projected potential, probably, maybe going to be president-elect. But no, he's just straight out won the presidential election. Right, signaling a start to its relations with the incoming administration after years of hostility and distrust under President Trump. This is the New York Times, by the way, in case you were just wondering where this was coming from. I don't think anybody was confused as to how cozy of a relationship Joe Biden and China have had and how they could potentially be handling this in the future. We express our congratulations to Mr. Biden and Miss Harris. Well, she's married, so, whatever. Oh, well, thanks, Wang, as spokesman for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it wasn't even Xi that came out and said this, which might tell you something, too, the fact that he doesn't really care that much. Said at a daily news conference referring to Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Oh, there we go. Okay, so only she gets the elect title. But isn't she really going to be the president-elect? Who knows? Who cares? We respect the choice of the American people. Well, at least you respect somebody's choice. And I kind of find this, you guys know the fact that I find this all deeply disturbing. China, Biden, Harris, they're all deeply disturbing on different levels. But the fact that Joe Biden is always called, for the past week, president-elect, okay? I guess it would be a week on Saturday when it was officially called by the media, and don't you dare question otherwise. I was just thinking maybe I was crazy. That still might be the case, but at least on this specific point, I remember President Trump standing in front of the president-elect podium, and I don't know, people were saying that, the office of the president-elect isn't a thing, but it's like, I kind of remember that, and, I did find it. And it's like, okay, at Donald Trump press conference, and he's standing in front of that podium that I knew I could remember. And as it says here in the first line of this NPR, so I'm using the enemy's news sources. Frankly, all of these news sources are from the enemy anyways, and that's just not because they're from Fox and New York Times and NPR. It's just the media is the enemy of the people, and prove me wrong. For the first time in 167 days, President-elect Donald Trump held a wide-ranging news conference. And as it says here, Donald Trump speaks during a news press conference on Wednesday in New York, his first as president-elect. This was in January, after the Electoral Congress convened and voted him president-elect. So he was never referred to as president-elect prior to that meeting. So all of this president-elect talk for Joe Biden right now doesn't hold any water, and just wanted you guys to know that because I thought I remembered this, but I just needed to make sure. Now, as much good news as getting a congratulations speech from somebody's lackey over there in China for Vice President Joe Biden, because that's the highest title he's ever going to get, that is probably the end of the good news for him today, because Biden camp asks for $30 million in fundraising appeal to beat Trump's lawsuits. Now, if he was so sure he was going to win, why would he need to fundraise $30 million? We wouldn't be asking if we didn't truly need $30 million, the email he sent out to his supporters read. Let's take a look at this email. President-elect Joe Biden's campaign is fundraising to fight the Trump campaign's legal efforts, vowing to relaunch its Fight Fund, even as Biden tries to downplay his opponent's lawsuits. Exactly. To the best of my knowledge, he has made very few or maybe no acknowledgement of any of the outstanding lawsuits going on. And, every single, just write them down for memory's sake, so I know I'm not going crazy. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia. I don't think I'm missing any. And the Georgia one right now is nothing concrete coming out of there, but it just looks like it's being done as a straight recount. The only thing I'm seeing is just kind of hearsay evidence, so I didn't want to pull it up because it might be completely wrong. But here's what I'm hearing right now, is that the recount is taking place, and there are poll watchers that are present, and for everybody who's counting a ballot, there is One poll watcher per group of 10 people counting. Totally useless. Totally fucking useless. But like I said, that's just hearsay and conjecture at the time. So maybe something more formal is coming out of this. I don't know. Or maybe that's just complete hyperbolic horseshit. Donald Trump is doubling down on lawsuits, a campaign email read on Tuesday night. The campaign argued that litigation is expensive. Well, wasn't Joe Biden the one who was bragging openly that he out fundraised Donald Trump? So where did all that money go? Can't the DNC crack open those coffers to help this out? Or is this just a Bernie Sanders style grift? I don't know. We'll see. But we need to be prepared to fight these lawsuits regardless and ensure Trump, President Trump, by the way, doesn't win them just because we don't have the funds to fight back. Which is why today we are relaunching our Biden Fight Fund, the BFF. Because Uncle Joe would never do anything wrong, so he's your BFF. And why we need your help to fill it with $30 million in the coming days and weeks. So yeah, hurry up and cough it up. Otherwise, Hitler comes back into power, right? Yeah, create this urgency because most of these states have to meet and certify everything, I believe, by December. All right, so I got a list of the different states here where they have to certify. And so for the first one of note, November 20th for Georgia. So they have a week from today in order to get their shit in order. And these are constitutionally binding, so that's really fucking hard to get around. Nigh impossible, in fact. Michigan and Pennsylvania on the 23rd, which would be the following Monday. Arizona a week later. Wisconsin the next day. And of course, fucking California takes the longest. Jesus, we get it. You suck at everything. Why do you have to take so fucking long? So yeah, that's why there's such urgency in this letter, because realistic, unless there's been shit going on behind the scenes, which you can't ever really discount, they've been remarkably quiet when it comes to countersuits. The campaign added that it wouldn't be asking if we didn't truly need $30 million to be able to fund the legal work ahead. We can't run out of resources now, which is why we need to fill this fund as soon as we can. Should just get a couple of sad-looking puppies and see if Sarah McLachlan has anything on her calendar coming up. Campaign previously promoted the Biden Fight Fund, the BFF, on the day after the election. Interesting, because nothing was really certain. Everything was just kind of leaning at that point, and we didn't get a call for another 3 or 4 days, right? Since then, the number of Trump's lawsuits have grown, while several have been shot down by the courts. Oh, thank you, Fox. There have also been several legal victories in Pennsylvania specifically. So, just make sure you highlight the negative and not the positive. That's why I'm not turning off the ad blocker on Fox, because go fuck yourself. As late as Tuesday evening, the campaign was expected to file a lawsuit blocking Michigan from certifying its election results, citing a need to verify that the ballots were tabulated in accordance with the law. So in response to all of this, this email went out to all of his supporters, and hurry up and fill up those coffers, because old Joe needs a nice retirement package. So what did he do actually, substantial out in public? Well, Joe did what he does best, called the lid. Biden transition team charging ahead, but calls for more access for president-elect. Team says it's ahead of schedule. Hopes to have senior officials named in coming weeks, but nothing today because, I don't know, we need to regroup for the weekend. You know what? It's been a tough campaign for Joe. He had to go out and do a couple of very difficult rallies 2 weeks ago. And he's still tired because of it. Did you know how late he had to give that quasi-acceptance speech that one night? He's probably still tuckered out. That probably threw off his sleep cycle for, months ahead. Yeah, I like this picture. Kamala's over there just looking at him. It's like, soon, soon, soon. Yeah, office of the president-elect. It just looks like a homemade little sticker in comparison to just the Trump one, because you can see here, it's a nice angular look, and it looks rather official as compared to, you get just something one of Jill's students fucking slapped together, I suppose. So because the media couldn't do a great job of just, I don't know, outright dismissing these claims of voter fraud, which seem mounting at this point. They just couldn't shake them enough, so now that they need to raise $30 million, doesn't that kind of tip you off to the fact that there's something significant there? That these court cases are going to be going through, and Kelly Brockvar, the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania, blatantly disregarding her own power that she has to change elections, which she can't, and overriding the United States Supreme Court Justice Alito's ruling that she had to separate the late ballots, which was blatantly disregarded, and Pennsylvania's Supreme Court ruling, the video that I covered yesterday when I said that there were 3 extra days that Brockvar put on there in order for ballots to be fixed, because to turn them from provisional ballots into regular countable ballots, valid ballots rather, ruling that was way above her pay grade. She could not do that. What that could also open up to the fact that many other states have just added different sort of ways to vote or change the process of voting that could be eventually ruled unconstitutional. So that's another way that ruling there could be consequential to these other lawsuits that are outstanding. It's a very interesting case because there are significant lawsuits and developing findings that are happening in Michigan for sure, and Arizona, even though it was called earlier for Biden, it's definitely in that recount threshold, and everybody and their mother already knew that. So I don't know, man. If you guys feel inclined, old Uncle Joe just needs a little bit more of your money, so feel free to donate to that lost cause. I don't know who's necessarily working on either side, other than fucking Giuliani's out there, so he's on Trump's side. I don't know who could potentially be on Biden's side, but, well, he has all the backing of Wall Street, so all of those lawyers have got to be just right there, just chomping at the bit, wanting to help him out. And one other thing that was really funny, the last time that there was any sort of contested election like this on this grand stage was, well, everybody's kind of tired of this analysis at this point, between George Bush and Al Gore in 2000. And who were 3 of the lawyers on George Bush's side? Well, you had John Roberts, you had Amy Coney Barrett, and you had Brett Kavanaugh. Isn't that a little funny? Doesn't that seem... I think that's more coincidental than anything, other than, John Roberts was very successful in defending the case for George W. Bush at that time, and he was appointed to the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice by Stupid W. And then for Trump to appoint both Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett, I don't know, man. You can start making little connections in your own head. I just don't think that it's any more than really just a coincidence. I don't think that there's anything else there. I just think they both did very good jobs, and Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett have a relatively long history of working together. So, and they all just kind of fall from that same tree, and, well, as you all know, Washington's a rather incestuous place. So, and speaking of incestuous places and people in power, you got, Joe Biden in the middle of the screen, and I won't torch you with that picture any longer. Anyways, guys, just start thinking about the fact that Joe Biden's already calling for $30 million in a legal defense fund to override all of these lawsuits that Trump's campaign is putting out that are starting to seem a little bit more concrete as time passes on. Information might be slowing to a trickle here over the weekend, but if there's anything late breaking that comes out, your boy's going to be here to cover it. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.